And we're live.
Hello. Hi. Oh, I forgot. I get to do the intro.
She does.
I was listening to the online one here. Let me mute myself. 1 second. All right. All right. Hello and welcome to the Illuminated page. Normally, I would be your illustrious keeper of arcane lore as we board the horror on the Orient Express. But tonight, one of our lovely players is out. The Countess is absent. So we are doing a one shot called Deadlight. And our normal sound producer, who sits behind the scenes and changes all the sounds so you guys can get a little eerie, is going to be running this for us tonight. I think it's going to be a really good time. So I get to play with my lovely players, and I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody, and tell us if our sound's okay. So I'm not running it tonight. I don't have. I'm just a player. So I'm like, are we okay? But
I
John's good at
have the
this stuff.
control.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with. I'm just going to start with who's on my screen in order. So if Alla, if we could get a little hello and maybe your character's name, we'll probably get into descriptions later.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alla, and tonight I'm playing Jacob Carfax of Carfax Textiles.
Lovely, lovely. Love the mustache. We've been talking about it all through pre-show. It's perfect. Although with your interdimensional cattail that appears every now and again, I'm like, you didn't borrow the cat for that.
Might
Um,
still could.
you might.
Call of
Sean,
Cthulhu
let's
for
go with you
talking.
next.
Hey, tonight I'm playing Lillian Bergeron. She is a nurse from the war and currently a private investigator.
Fantastic, fantastic. And moving on to Alyssa.
Hey everybody, I'm Alyssa, and tonight I am playing. I have to check. Rose Preston is her name. She is a medical student at the Boston University School of Medicine.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I am playing Grace Riley, a private investigator, formerly a ambulance driver in the battlefields of France during the Great War. So that's us. I'm gonna shoot it to you, John, back at the studio, or 5 feet to my right.
Well, hello everyone. So I'm John, and yes, usually I am running sound on the backside. I am also one of the GMs here. I run the Ninja Crusade game on Thursdays, which may be happening this Thursday or not. We're going to figure that out. But I also want to be sure to say that this week we've also got on Monday, we have Star Trek with John Kennedy back in the seat. On Tuesday, we will be back with, I think that's the By Leaps and Bounties, our 7th Sea actual play. And then coming up at the end of the week this Saturday is our part two of kind of a two-part series. We did Battletech A Time of War for the first episode. And then we are now doing Mech Warrior Destiny as the second episode. Two games set in the same universe, different mechanics to some extent. There's still 2d6 games, but I am trading in seats with Chris Hussey, who will be taking over as the GM. And Chris, if you don't know, runs Deadlands, a whole lot of other things like there on the internet. So be sure to check out his stuff. But before I take off with any of that, we're here to play some Call of Cthulhu tonight, right? So, give me a
That's
moment
right.
to set the scene a bit, and I'm kind of I'm going to be both GM, but I am also going to do my duty as sound tech tonight as well. A little new setup, so, in chat, if there is an issue with the sound, if it sounds a little bit loud to you over what everybody else is talking at, let me know and we'll get that adjusted. All right. Hopefully everything is sounding right out there.
I don't know when he became a late night DJ, but it's great.
When
Sounding all right out there.
a little bit of sickness and a little bit of the horror element that is Call of Cthulhu will do that to you, right? I mean,
For the easy listening jazz section.
well, it's not easy listening tonight. No, tonight we're traveling together far from Europe where this team originally was, back across Atlantic to the States. Back to the United States, a little different from ours. Before there were highways crisscrossing this country from state to state, there were routes and roads. When traveling now takes a few hours, well, for the Americas we find our players in now, traveling city to city may take days at a time, and trains were more reliable and still a mass method of transportation. It's a time when the age-old epithet was, it's about the journey and not the destination, kind of held a practical truth. We find ourselves on one of these routes, cut through the deciduous forests of the oaks and hickories somewhere south of Arkham, on the east coast of the United States. A storm has come through while you were traveling. At first, a small summer rain is turned into a fierce gale, changing your hair fast-paced into a turtle's crawl. But a light illuminated the dark ahead, beckoning you like a moth to a candle's glow. The words on a simple neon sign reads Orchards Run, with another sign lit by lamps reading Gas Station and Cafe. Diner of this appearance was never what you expected, having the classy and modern boxcar eatery appearance of Joe's or Red Oak's or even Mickey's. Somehow, here nestled in this forest, surrounded by heavy woods, a loud but jovial man named Sam welcomes you in as he seeks shelter from the rain, and regales you of how great the Orchard Run Cafe is, regardless of how abysmally poor the service seems to be from the waitress Mary. Yes, sir. The Department of Transportation is getting ready to open up this route. Gonna be 2 lanes both ways from here to Boston someday. The owner, Miss Atla, paid to have electricity ran through here already, and next week we're getting a real telephone line added. Even got one of them new pneumatic gas pumps you don't have to torture yourself with a hand crank. Gonna bring a taste of coffee, home, and modern convenience to the weary traveler. Now, you be sure to tell your friends all about us. And he has a captive audience with you all there, taking shelter from the storm. Mary, for the most part, nearly ignores you, paying more attention to the storm outside, watching out the windows. But we're not alone here in this diner. There's actually a pretty good crowd. I think it's at this point that, why don't we go around the table and introduce the characters and tell me what you're doing inside this diner here together tonight. So, let's go ahead and start off with our pair, perhaps. Let's start off with Lily.
Okay. So, okay, 1 second. I gotta flip down to my notes because new character, who dis? Lily is average height, build, with hazel eyes, brown hair that she keeps in a bob, so it's really easy to maintain. She's wearing tan slacks and heavier shoes than is probably fashionable, but it allows her easy movement as she's skulking around looking for things.
All right. And what are you doing in the diner this evening? Are you going to be sitting? I'm already guessing you're sitting with your partner, but you are.
Yeah.
Are you at the counter, or are y'all getting a table?
I'll leave that up to my partner. Do you want booth or counter?
You know me, I like the booths.
We'll be at the booth, and I will probably be impatiently waiting for some coffee that we ordered and perusing the paper.
Calm down there. She'll get the coffee when it comes.
Well, yeah, apparently the storm outside is more interesting, but
In fact, Mary takes her sweet time, and she does bring coffee ever so often, but you probably have been there for around an hour, and Sam has come by more often than not to refill your cups. But let's go ahead and switch over then to the other person sitting with you.
My name is Grace Riley. I am a private investigator, part of the, I believe it's the Riley and Bergeron firm. Is that what we've called ourselves,
I
Lily?
thought we were going to go alphabetical, but yeah,
Well, you know.
R&B,
Depends on who says it, I suppose.
R&B investigations for short.
And until we get the business cards, it can switch however we like it. So, but yeah, I'm a private investigator. I am quite tall, but have a slighter build, and I have long brown hair that I keep tied up into a bun usually, but I like to keep it long for, you know, you never know when you might need to change your appearance on a dime. So, but I'm just sitting at the counter, or not? No, we're sitting at the booth. We're sitting at the booth. I'm not drinking coffee. I got my water, and I'm doing quite well.
Well, this diner is filled with other people as well. In fact, you ever so often you can hear the conversation from the table behind you. A older couple who has gone on the road together. He is a retired bank teller, and his wife was a homemaker, and they're also there with her sister. Gertrude, Ethel, and Teddy kind of fill the air around you with a conversation, talking about their times in New York. But by and large, you'd guess they're in their 70s. And so that's going to be the table nearest to you, but we do have other players here as well. So let's go ahead and go to. How about Rose? Would you like to tell us what you're doing?
Sure. Sorry, I was making notes. She is sitting at a table in the back, like one of the booths in the back of the diner. And I don't know if anyone's particularly close to her, but she does have what, if you look at it, is a banana peel on the table, and she's doing something. You like ever so often see the hand come up like that, with the banana, and she's quite small. She's slender, and she like just crests 5 feet. And she's blonde. She's strawberry blonde, and she keeps it in a bob. Again, because it's easy to maintain and it's easy to pull back. And she's about 21, but she looks like she's 16. Like, she still looks like a kid, which, I mean, I can't relate to that at all. That never happened to me when I was in my 20s.
All right. Well, while you are in the back corner, nearby, sitting at the counter, it's one of those classic boxcar counters where it's that long hall kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a hall, but there's the window side booths going down, and y'all are in different booths. And there's the counter that just runs the entire length of this diner, and you've got 2 people probably sitting close by. A individual known as Walter, who is a traveling salesman, and he loves to talk to everybody as they come by. He's probably turned around a few times and it's been, hey, And at the same time, near him is a gentleman who's just kind of grunts as if he doesn't want to be a part of any conversation, but Walter is saddled up next to him. And that individual has a name badge on his overalls that says Herb. But we also have one more player here tonight, and let's go ahead and get their character introduction in. So, Jacob, tell us what you're doing.
Jacob is probably, if there's any more open booths left, it is kind of packed in here. He's a man of mid-height, kind of average build, probably in his mid-40s by his salt pepper hair. He's sharply dressed, like very fine suit, probably much too fine for upstate Massachusetts. He's got a rather large briefcase with him, and if he's at a booth, it sort of takes up the seat next to him, and he seems to be rather distracted, either looking at some very, very boring-looking mathematical documents in front of him, or just staring off out of the window into the great storm.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and say that It is, after all, Call of Cthulhu, and things never stay normal, regardless of how supernatural this storm may seem. Everybody, go ahead and give me a notice roll of some sort. If you're watching outside the window,
So that'd be a spot hidden.
spot hidden.
Regular success for me.
I get a bonus die because I have keen vision.
While Jacob is looking outside the window, he's not actually looking at anything in particular. His eyes are sort of far away, glazed over kind of appearance. See nothing at all.
I got a hard success.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to describe this scene and at the same time give you a little bit of information based on what it is you're seeing and how well you rolled. So for the hard success, everybody who is paying attention outside, you see in the distance that there is a large truck now coming down the road. It's made a turn onto this road about a mile or two back. And you see, just a natural part of the road. Not like they came out of a drive or anything, but just the natural turn. The headlights are in the distance. And the vehicle is getting closer and closer, coming in the direction. Traveling at a pretty standard clip, even in this rain. But for the hard success, outside, you are looking into the darkness. And there are no street lights here. The only light that is here is that from the neon sign above the building that you're in. And also, there's the light of the lamps that illuminate the additional wording. Now, what you see in the distance, with that little bit of light, and it's not even like the headlights of the truck have hit it yet, you see a figure. And it takes you a moment to really take that in, but there is somebody outside, and they seem to be running, as if they've come out of the woods nearby. And they run out onto the road, and it's like they run like about 2/3 into the road, maybe a third back, and and then back to where they start, almost like they're circling or they're lost or they're confused. But you see that person, and you're pretty sure that that person in the next few moments is going to be right in front of that truck.
Y'all see that?
What, the truck?
She's gonna run right in front of that truck.
Who? And I squint out the window. I don't see who.
I stand up and I start kind of pointing them. Somebody needs to get out there, and I grab my one of those I probably had sitting on the seat next to me, one of those kind of plastic hair nets, bonnets that women wore in another age, and
Yeah.
I throw it on real fast, and I'm holding it, and I start to run out. Did you say it was a man or a woman? I can't tell.
I will say that it was a woman.
Okay. Ma'am! And I step outside, and I'm trying to
All right.
get their attention.
Herb,
I'm about half a minute behind Grace, but I'm on my way out the door to
Herb
have her
is-
back.
yeah. Herb also goes out the door, and whoever this woman is, it's almost like she's not paying attention to your voices. She just seems, it's almost like a deer in headlights moment as this vehicle is getting closer and closer. And if you want to go and try and rescue her, you can make a, say, athletics roll of some sort.
How far away is the car or the vehicle?
It is, at this point, you're guessing that it is a large truck, and maybe about 20, 30 yards away from her. And it probably just now sees her, and you hear the blare of that, truck horn.
Okay. If it looks like the truck sees her, then I will see if I can just sprint across and let me see what my let me see what my numbers are. New character. let's see.
I will say that Herb takes off and he is catching up to her, and he at least has regular success. But if you want to try and get there and help him,
I'm gonna just see if I can't flag the truck down. And
I'm gonna. If you're gonna flag, I'm gonna see if I can get to her as well. So are we running strength, dex,
uh,
brawl?
isn't there an athletics score for this game?
no.
No.
No, strength.
You
or
need
dex.
you need to pull up a character
Give me
sheet,
one
babe. You
second
don't
here.
know. This ain't D&D. Yeah, it'll probably be a strength to try to like get her out of the way.
Maybe
Yeah.
dexterity to reach her quickly.
Yeah, dexterity for.
Let's go with dexterity.
Oh wow, too dark. Yeah, that's a 99. That's not happening.
Yeah, I've got a hanky out, a white one, and I'm standing in the street light, and I'm trying to flag the truck to slow down. Although I'm out in the rain, so I probably can't see anything.
Flipped in a puddle.
Right.
As long as you don't end up in front of that truck either.
All right. So, Bink, or for your character, what were you getting?
I got a 99.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a complete and utter failure.
Well, thankfully, Herb runs out there and grabs this individual under their arms from behind and starts, picks them up and drags them back out of the street. But they're flailing, their legs, arms, everything, screaming, barely, audible in the rain and the storm. The truck doesn't see sees everyone, and at the last moment pulls off to the left-hand side, skids down the road, and it's that sound of the tires on the pavement and going off into the the grass and the gravel on the side of the road, and that skidding sound in the rain that you hear as the truck just kind of that air brake, painful, ear-piercing sound as it just careens, and you see it heading straight for the power line to the diner. And right as it collides, the truck comes to a rest. The lights inside the diner flash briefly and then stay on.
Yeah, outside, I'm just like ready to bolt if that power line had come down or if the pole had come down, because we are all in a bad way if that had come down where we're standing.
So Lily is going to run over to the truck to make sure the driver's okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and go around the table and get actions from everybody, just in case. So, Rose, are you going to be doing anything?
Yeah. I mean, did he? Excuse me. Did he hit the pole hard? Like, was it enough that it looked like anything happened to the truck?
It dented in the bumper a little bit, and the pole is leaning now. But otherwise, it looks like everything survived.
Okay, she's probably trying to make her way out, especially if the person driving doesn't come out of the car or out of the truck.
All right. So you're going to go and assist with the driver, and that means also Lily is assisting with the driver, correct?
Yeah, I was heading over to check on him.
All right. Jacob, what are you going to be doing?
Jacob sort of starts almost awake when this starts happening and is sort of befuddled for a little bit and starts randomly, very quickly putting away the papers that he was working on. But he's not going to go outside at the moment. It's a little bit too chaotic out there.
In the diner, I mean, everybody is now standing. The entire crowd is gathering towards the windows. And even, Ethel is just like, oh, one of the older ladies from that one group. Oh dear, shouldn't you all go and help them? and it's just kind of chiding everyone and tapping. I'm gonna say tapping Jacob on the back. Just that light tap. Shouldn't somebody go and help them?
Oh, I don't believe I've got anything that can assist in this moment, madam. Once they get somebody inside, maybe I can help, or when the weather is better.
Grace, you were with Herb trying to wrangle the girl. Yes.
I had gone out to tackle them, but then I changed my mind and started trying to flag down the truck. So I'm just standing there. I do have one question. I'm sorry, out of
Yeah.
character, and I don't want to break the scene. Is the name spelled Herb, like Herb?
Yeah.
Okay, you say the H. Herb just is. I'm like, he's not parsley. Sorry,
Maybe
it was
he
driving.
is.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is. He should be able to pronounce his name however he wants to. I just I'm
Amen.
like, so. Anyway, I was outside. So yes, if he is bringing the girl back towards the diner, or the young woman back towards the diner, then I would trying to assess her a little bit. I would at least be trying to do like a spot hidden or something to look, see if she had any marks on her or anything like that.
About 10, 15 feet, after he's pulled her out of the road, she kind of goes limp in his arms. And it's like she's not struggling anymore. And I'm going to get back to you in a moment. Do you have medicine?
I do not. I was an ambulance driver. I did not do any of the mediculars in the back.
All right, then we'll come back to that in just one moment. For those of you who are wrangling the driver, you open the door. Together, one of you maybe pulls it open or looks inside. The driver is kind of shaken, undoing his seatbelt. There is blood pouring from a wound on his forehead, and probably has slammed it pretty good into this large, solid steering wheel. And he starts falling out of the truck as he climbs out.
I'm going to try and catch him so he doesn't hurt himself any further. And I'm going to start pull out like a handkerchief and just try to stop the bleeding on his forehead.
Okay. Are y'all going to go ahead and try and get him back into the restaurant too?
Yeah.
All right. So you, as a group, begin pulling these people back towards the restaurant. The truck, the engine has already sputtered and died, and the headlights, after a moment, just start to dim. There in the rain. But as you pull in the young lady first, as she comes through the door, I will say that Jacob, you're going to notice that Mary looks over at her with a bit of recognition in her eyes. It's like, what's she doing here? And, as you come inside with the truck driver, he is, the wound is now covered, but he is bleeding from a wound on the forehead. So, what is everybody's reactions to this? Some of the people, realizing that they're not really useful in this situation, are going back to their chairs, or at least are trying not to crowd too much. But for those of you who are part of this group for this game, what are you doing? Going around again with Rose.
Rose will still be tending to the truck driver. She's gonna help him sit down, like get somebody to get him a glass of water, gonna try to stop the bleeding, gonna try to check for a concussion, like the whole ordeal.
Are you a nurse?
Med student.
Med student? Oh, so you were practicing sutures back there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it... Look, I'm going to pull the handkerchief off of his forehead. I was like, he may need some sutures if you have the equipment to do it.
I think she does. She carries a medical kit and like a dissection kit.
All right.
It might help stop the bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll come. We'll get that test out of the way in this one moment. Jacob, what are you going to be doing?
Jacob is again one of those people that doesn't have much to contribute in this particular situation, and therefore stays out of the way. But he does turn to Mary. He's like, "Madam, do you know this girl?"
Um. Well, she's a local. She lives not that far from here. Others. Her reaction is somewhat, quick and at the same point terse. So, if you wish to do a psychoanalysis on that, you're welcome to. But I will come back to that in just one moment. Uh, Grace, what are you going to be doing?
As I said, I was just looking at the. As he brought the girl back towards the cafe or the diner, I was going to see if I could notice anything about her. Maybe does it look like what kind of shoes is she wearing? Is she wearing shoes? Is she look dazed? Does she have scratches on her? Things like that. I'm gonna be trying to figure out what happened. I'm gonna try to Sherlock something here.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and I will get a test in for that as well. Once I find the character. But, and then finally, Lily, what were you going to be doing? Are you going to be assisting?
Yeah, being a nurse, I probably could do the stitching, but it's Rose's equipment, so I'm going to help her, give assistance as as she does her thing.
All right. Well, we're going to start off with the young woman who has come in with the group. And we're going to say that things that you're going to notice. So, let me see. Do you have a recommendation on a skill for that? Spot hidden might work for this, but for the most part, this is more a visual analysis of the individual.
For me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it'd be a spot hidden.
All right, then let's go ahead and do spot hidden.
Again, I got I have keen vision, so I get a bonus die. So that is a 36. Oh wait. Oh no, I'm forgetting how dice works. I don't roll dice very often anymore. Let's see. Spot hidden 65, 32. I'm gonna spend 4 points of luck to have a hard success.
All right. So for yours, when you're looking at her, you notice that she has, on your first inspection, she has a very smart kind of hair bob. So this is a very modern, current style from the big city. Her clothing, even though it's disheveled, she has obviously been out in the rain and the elements for quite a bit, possibly out in the woods. And by quite a bit, I mean at least an hour. But beyond that, you're also going to notice that she has a antique chain and a medallion on her neck, and she is it stands out because most of her clothing is white and off-colored at this point, but this bronze kind of appearance of metal underneath it, you can see that, and it's a fairly large medallion, like about this sized.
Does she look responsive at all?
Just barely. Her skin is very pale, almost bluish in color. She is obviously cold, wet, and been in the elements.
Are we back in the? We're back inside.
Yes, you are.
Sam, do you have any blankets or anything in the back? Do you have towels, large towels, anything? We need something to warm this girl up.
I've got some towels. I'll go get them. And he runs off to go get some things. Let's go ahead and go with our next group of people who are dealing with the driver, doing some sutures.
Yes.
So if I'm assisting, will Alyssa get a bonus die, or do I roll a medical check too? How do we want to do that?
I say let's go ahead and do a bonus die.
Oh. Is that first aid? Is that medicine?
First
Medicine. Well, I guess it could be first aid.
First aid because it's going immediate.
Good. One of those was a 10 and one of those was a 90, so I will take it.
Nice.
That's 13, which is an extreme success.
All right, you like a pro, as if textbook example from what you've learned in your courses. Suture the head closed and stave off most of the bleeding at this point. Simple bandage over should take care of the rest.
Lily's gonna be like, goodness, dear, what year medical student you say you were? I've seen doctors do horrible suturing in the field in the war.
My last year.
Well, you're gonna be a remarkable doctor.
Thank you.
And finally, Jacob. Did you want to go ahead and do a psychoanalysis on the waitress?
Psychology.
Psychology?
I
Let's
think.
do it.
And it is a success.
Well, you're fairly certain that her terse response leads you to believe that she is aware of who this person is, obviously, but at the same time, that there's something more that she is not exactly saying, and probably a little bit of distaste for this individual.
Don't suppose you know her family or anything we could... Well, you don't have a phone line put in yet, do you? Suppose
Now,
we
when
can't
you say the
contact them.
family, Mary's eyes shoot to you briefly, and then she looks away. But she's like, well, they have a place not too far away.
Ah, well, that's good.
Suddenly,
Can I roll a? Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, no,
I
no,
was gonna say,
please.
can I roll a listen check to see if I overheard that?
Absolutely.
I did not. Darn it.
So, suddenly, the woman's eyes kind of shoot open, and she kind of jumps a little bit, like, that, as if you're coming out of a dream, and you lean forward, as if that dream that you've had where you're falling backwards, and suddenly you just kind of jerk forward, your arms and legs kind of trying to find purchase. And it's sort of that moment for her.
Calm. Oh, shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. You calm down now. Can you hear me? Can you understand me?
She nods. She's shivering at this point. And Sam gets back and begins wrapping her with towels.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Can you? I know it's cold. We're gonna warm you up. It's nice and warm in here, and the storm was real bad, but we're gonna get you dried off. Do you have any old waitress uniforms or anything in the back that maybe will fit her?
I think the owner has a few things back there that I can, at least a coat or something. I will find something. And he goes again. He's there's obviously a certain amount of him that that takes command well, takes being instructed well, but she begins to talk, kind of mumbling. She's like, "It's my 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 grandfather. My grandfather, he's hurt and he needs help. My grandfather's hurt."
Okay, honey. Okay. Did this just happen? Is this something we need to get? Were you able to call police or anybody like that? Do you have a phone at home?
I, no, there are no phones out here.
All right. All right. Then, let's. How far away is your house?
It's about a mile back on the road. You take a right, and then it's the first right, and then there's a road you gotta take all the way to it. It's the Apple Acre Cottage. That's my grandfather's place.
Apple Acre Cottage. Okay. And I look over where Lily is, and Lily, we might need to take the car and go help an old man. She says her grandfather needs help.
Is that what she was doing out there? Was she trying to find help?
Yeah, she says he needs help, and it's about a mile up the road. Apple Acres.
Never heard of it, but I suppose we could find it. and I'm going to look at Rose and be like, "You interested in coming with us? We may need some more medical help."
Sure.
Oh, and Ethel begins tapping on Billy, or not Billy, sorry, wrong name,
Teddy.
Teddy, and starts tapping on him. And, that same insistent tap. Teddy, Teddy, you should go with them. You should go with them. Go help them. There's a man that needs in trouble. He needs help. And he kind of is just, yes, dear, and starts to stand up from the table.
No, sir. Believe me, it'll be okay. We can handle this. I was an ambulance driver in the war. You just sit down, enjoy your coffee. Appreciate it, ma'am. But sir, please just stay. You don't need to be getting out in here, out in this weather.
Well, somebody go with these fine people. Somebody, and she's looking around, and she looks over at Jacob again. And is just like, please go with them.
What? Oh, I don't know if I can be of much assistance, but is your vehicle large enough to sit all of you and this wet scrap of lass? You may use mine if you so wish. It's a
You have a bigger car.
well, it's a rental, but it should fit everyone. It's all terrain, as they say. What a novel thing you Americans have.
I mean, I'm not an American either, but I don't know if it doesn't matter. But yes, if you have a bigger car that can seat 6 or 5, then I think that would probably, just in case we're going to need to take the grandfather to the hospital, we would need something larger than my sedan.
Do we have the name for the woman that we just rescued? Have we?
She's not
Anybody asked
given
that
it
yet?
yet. I asked it, and she did not give it.
She will introduce herself as, one moment here, Amelia Webb.
So, Amelia, what happened to your grandfather?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to. We were in the living room, and there was a bright light, and I remember running, and him screaming. And that's it.
So, did something explode? Did your heater?
And she kind of
Burns
buries
explode?
her head in her hands a moment. She's just like, I cannot, I can't remember. Now, Jacob, go ahead and give me a spot hidden, because you were kind of also paying attention to certain things. Go ahead and give me another spot hidden.
No. I don't have a very good spot hidden, and he's too busy kind of shuffling the rest of his suitcase out of the booth area, so he's kind of a hot mess.
All right. So, our group of now team of investigators are going to be departing for Appleton.
Before
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, before we leave, I want to go by our car and in the trunk, get out a couple of flashlights, and I'm gonna pull Grace aside and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna grab my gun. Do you want me to grab yours too?"
Yes.
And then I'm gonna get all that out of the trunk. I'll give it to Grace very discreetly.
Of course.
And Jacob, before he leaves, turns to Mary again and said, "Madam, you are familiar with her family. Is what she was saying accurate? Is her father's residence mile up the road?"
And you say this to Mary?
Yes.
There's you can definitely tell the tone a little bit more, but yeah, you really can't miss it. Cottage is an understatement.
If this grandfather of hers is in danger, any information you can share with us would be quite helpful.
He's the local doctor.
Wow.
All right. Was there anything else anyone wanted to do before you departed the diner?
Um, feel like there's probably something I should do. I look at Lily and Rose. Do I? Well, I guess I'll look at Lily first. Do you have your first aid kit with you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I got it. I pulled it out of the trunk when I got our flashlights and the other equipment.
Okay. Hopefully, we should be able to get anything else that we need from the house. Hopefully, they'll at least have running water, I would think. So, we should be fine. And it's only a mile up the road. If somebody needs to come back, we can always come back.
I mean, I don't know what could be wrong with him. Amelia said there was a flash of light. I mean, if there's a fire, he's probably not.
It might have just been an electrical surge or something if they had. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or a bulb burning. I mean, we don't know. Let's just see.
She could be panicking for no reason.
Right.
Well, here is my vehicle. It should seat everyone. It's like a 6-seater.
Sweet.
And then he puts his trunk in the trunk. And if you don't mind, I would prefer to drive. No offense. I'm sure you're an excellent driver.
You know, that is quite all right. It is your car. I take no offense at all.
Rose, on her way out, is going to turn to anyone else in the diner and point at the truck driver and say, make sure he doesn't fall asleep. He's concussed. And then she'll follow them out.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. You make your way through the storm and out to the vehicles, get your things together, and begin heading down the road. It is a dangerous drive, I will say. The fact that she probably ran the entire way there, that mile, is really telling, quite honestly. There are places where, the leaves and the branches have come down. You're very surprised there are no trees that are down out in the road. That is how powerful the winds are at this point. But as you're driving, let's go ahead and, whoever is driving, let's get a drive auto check in. So who is driving?
That'd be Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob's driving. He
She's
feels very confident in his driving ability. And I rolled a natural 2, so...
That's real good. That's real good. Driving great in this storm.
You almost missed the entrance to this road that you were told of, and Amelia points it out in the last moments. It's like, oh, it's right there, and it is not even a turn onto a road. It is a hairpin turn coming back, and you feel the tires slip a little bit, but in your expert grip, you manage to save and fishtail a little bit. A little bit of Grand Theft Auto there a moment as you take off into the woods. Pulling it out straight, the road curves and goes into the woods. You're now surrounded by these thick oak trees, large branches. The sky is blackened out. And you are on the road. To the point that it took you to get down to this road, you are equally going that distance out into these woods.
Did you walk all the way through these woods to get to the diner?
I had to run. And she seems to be calming, and her color is coming back to her face and everything else. She seems much more relaxed.
Mary said this would be easy to spot, but nope. I don't see this cottage as she would.
If you're talking about that waitress, I wouldn't trust anything she says. She's got a bad attitude.
I thought that was just an American thing.
Although that, on the behalf of the Americans I know, I do find that that is almost an insult.
Oh, pardon me.
I don't know why I'm going southern. I'm from
Yeah, I'm like, what? I don't
What
know
is
what you
happening?
are. You're like, I'm not American, but you...
I gotta work on that. I don't know. My default is Southern. I lived in the South for a minute. You live in the South, Alla. Just
And
it's fine.
I do declare my Southern is excellent.
That's right. I'll just try to speak without an accent.
After a few moments, the headlights of your vehicle finally pierce through the rain and illuminate a large building ahead of you. Narrow enough that I guess could be called a cottage, but in certain parts of New York, they would have even considered this maybe a townhouse. Just shy of being a mansion.
Do we see any lights on?
There are no lights on. As you approach, though, you do see the front door of this estate is just swinging open wildly in the wind.
You certainly did leave in a hurry. So all you saw was a bright light.
Yes, there was a bright light. I think there was another man there. I'm sorry. My mind is all this. I've been beside myself. I've been out having
You
to
think
run.
there's somebody else in there?
I think
Besides
there's
your
somebody-
grandfather?
Yes, I think there was somebody else in there.
I take this moment to I give Lily a look and I so don't be alarmed, but and I start to pull out my gun. And I check and make sure that the rounds are chambered.
Yeah.
Or at least it's loaded. I'm not going to say that round is chambered, but
Maybe it's one of the good doctor's patients.
it could be, but we don't know exactly what happened. Miss Amelia, did did it sound like, or did it look like a camera flash? Like maybe a flash bulb?
No,
Or
her eyes begin to widen as it seems like more and more is coming back to her now that she's regaining her senses and regaining some warmth. He was struggling with the man, and the man had a gun.
did it look like a gun muzzle flash then?
I think so. I think he shot my grandfather.
Oh, but then we need to get in there because could be hours since your grandfather was shot.
Is there another car or anything parked around here?
There is a single vehicle in the drive.
We need to go in the house. I mean, if he's still alive, he needs help now.
Yeah, I get out of the car and I tell Amelia to, well, I guess I could just do it. Amelia, wait here. Don't you go back in there.
She nods.
You ready, Grace?
If any of the other, if the other two of you don't feel comfortable going in there, that's fine.
Just
I
stay
was in the
behind
war.
us.
Okay, are you armed? Do you have a weapon?
No.
That's fine. That's fine. Just stay behind us then, okay?
I have knives, but
Hey, well, I mean that.
they were scalpels, really.
Does
They
this
cut.
home have electricity? Normally.
Yes, my grandfather has a generator. It's in the. I'm actually surprised the lights aren't even on.
Well, why
It's
don't
in
I
the.
go look at that and see if I can turn the lights back on?
It's in the.
That's
There's
great, Jacob.
there's an external entrance to the basement where it is. And she points.
Did you have any flashlights or of the sort? I'm afraid I'm woefully underprepared for this.
That's all right. Just do what you can, and if you hear anything or see someone that's not us, just
Green?
stay out of sight as much as you can.
Well, I'm gonna hand Jacob a flashlight.
Many thanks.
All right.
Guess we're splitting the party. That never goes good.
Wise thing to do as always. This will be fine. It's maybe just
It's a large circular drive leading up to this estate, and there are 4 windows that you see flanking a doorway. It's a large double door with steps going up to it. It's not a modern not a porch that you would figure from this era. Like I said, much more townhome kind of style, where the steps just go up to the door, and the porch is just barely covered, barely even there. but like I said, two sets of windows on both sides. It is a single-story building, but obviously she has revealed that there is a basement.
Okay.
So
Um,
I'm. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say I'm going to very carefully uh, head towards the windows on the left of the front door. You said there's one on either side, correct? Yeah. So I'm going to go to the ones on the left, and I'm going to slightly peek in. Are there windows in the door at all?
I'm gonna say no. This is probably a solid door. But do you approach the door?
No. I go to the window first.
Yeah, I was gonna. You beat me to it. I was gonna go. Oh, so you're going to the one on the left? Then I'll. I was
Yes.
gonna go peek through the windows first. I'll go to the one on the right.
Stay at the bottom of the stairs, Rose. We'll call you back. We'll call you up just in case you got to get low.
All right. For I'm gonna let's go ahead and get actions around just for to set the scene. So Grace, you're going to the window on the left. Lily, you're going to the window on the right. Rose, what are you going to do?
She comes in with them, and is just kind of generally looking around to see if she can see old grandpa, but she is not moving towards the windows.
All right.
When they tell her to stay put, she's like, oh, okay.
All right. Well, they haven't gone into the house. They're still outside. So are you going?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
thought they were
I was
my
going to
brain
stay
thought
at,
we went in and then there were windows like into a room. I will stay
my
out with
bad.
them then. Oh.
Yeah, I recommended she stay at the bottom of the stairs just because we think there might be an armed person inside if they start shooting.
Right.
Staying low. Good idea.
Well, Rose,
She'll get low with them, but won't.
Yeah,
Come near a window.
yeah, go on.
as you wait there by the edge of the staircase going up to the door, it's about 5 steps up to it. So it gives you an idea how high the first floor has been raised. Uh, your foot clinks up against something. And looking down at it, you see that there's a crowbar on the ground. And that's for Rose. Now, Jacob, you're going to go find the entrance to the basement to go get the generator started.
Yes, and I'll make sure to take my car keys with me.
All right.
The single woman car key. The woman walking alone, car key split.
Well, there's also the kind of crazy lady left in the car, and
Oh, that's
this is
true.
our.
That's
I
true.
would like to have our escape vehicle available.
Amelia had pointed to the left side of the building, and you go around the corner and see the standard cellar doors leading down into a basement. You know, that classic from every movie, and usually they're not in horror movies at all, but those double doors that are outside, descending downwards.
They're not like ominously like
No,
flapping in the
not
wind.
ominously at all. Not like the front door. But you reach out and you pull open those doors. Are you going to do so tentatively and take a look, or?
Yeah, kind of slowly. There's, I'm almost certain there's like that kind of creak with it. But
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get a spot hidden.
I feel like this is probably going to be important, so I'm going to spend 13 points of luck to bump it up to an actual success.
Wow, good. Well, that's probably good. Yeah.
You look down into the basement. You see no shadows or anyone moving. You do see the outline of the beginning of a fairly large generator. Probably nearly out of place.
That's odd. You shouldn't need a generator of this size for a house this small.
And you are able to descend the staircase safely if you wish to.
Perfect. He'll do that.
Going back then to our investigator who went to the window on the left. I believe that was...
That was me. Is Grace.
So, Grace, give me a spot hidden.
All right. Once again, I have keen vision, so I'm going to use that bonus die. And that gives me a 35, which is a regular success.
All right. So you look in the window, and you have to kind of block the water a little bit to stop the drizzle that's obfuscating everything. But you're able to see into the room, and there is it appears to be probably Amelia's room. It's a young woman's room. Uh, there are uh, comforters, lavenders, pinks in here. There are stuffed animals and things that you would associate possibly more with a childhood, but you're guessing that's her room, and there appears to be a door. Uh, the door furthest from the window is closed, but the door immediately to your left is open. It appears like if you're at this first window, there's a door, and it probably leads to the room with the next window over as well. Going over to Lily, though. Lily, go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
Yeah, I need to picture that because that's awesome. I rolled an 8, which is an extreme success.
You also are looking through the window, and you see what is instead a reception room. And you aren't seeing much. There is a fireplace inside, directly across from the window, and you're not really making out much until there's a flash of lightning, and you see that there's a foot on the ground sticking out from behind a sofa.
I'm gonna look at Grace and whisper, towards her. Is like, I see the grandfather. I see his foot behind the sofa through these windows. What do you see anything in your room through the windows or?
All I see is a child's room. I think we should move in. Out of
Yeah.
question. Sorry, real quick. You said the front door was wide open. Is it like a
Yes.
screen door, or is it just the inside door is just inward?
Inside door has been blowing in the wind. It's like just slamming back and forth.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Rose,
ahead.
when she bumps the crowbar there, she reaches down and grasps her fingers around it and picks it up and says, I think whoever is here is not necessarily someone that was invited.
Oh no.
Save it for a weapon. Do you see any blood on it? I know it's wet out here, but do you see any blood on it or anything?
Shine one of the flashlights on it.
No blood on it.
No.
Save it just in case we need it.
Okay.
Did you tell me that you saw a foot?
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, it looks like a reception room, and I can't see the entire body, but there's a couch, and I see a foot sticking out from the floor, right past the couch. So it's got to be her grandfather.
Okay. I nod and I look around. Are we on a porch or are we still on the ground level? Like, were the stairs up to a porch?
No,
or were the
it's-
stairs just up to the door and we're on the ground beside it?
Stairs up to the porch. It doesn't fit in with a lot of the housing styles that you've seen, where people like especially out in these areas, more rural areas, to have that wraparound porch or that large sitting area out front. This is literally townhome style, going up steps into a home.
Okay, so no porch. All right. Then I'm going to kind of sweep my foot through the grass at my feet and look for a rock or something like that. Doesn't have to be too sizable, but something with a little weight to it. But good for a hand, like softball.
Yeah,
Softball or
absolutely.
baseball side. Okay. I pick that up and I decide to go in and I proceed up the stairs quietly where the button, or where the front door is. I was thinking to tell John to let go of the button. And then I was where the door is banging, and I carefully approach it, and I'm crouched down, and I push on it with my right hand. I've got the rock in my left hand. I've put my gun in my bag for the moment. Or maybe it's in my right hand as I'm also pushing the door open with it a little bit. But I push the door open slowly, and I kind of make a couple steps sounds with my feet, like don't like I'm taking a couple steps, and I toss a rock in, and try to see if there's any movement or anything. I listen, probably not looking, but probably trying to hear if there's any movement in the room.
Go ahead and let's do a listen check.
All right, let's see here. My listen. Oh, I guess I better go to my character sheet. My listen isn't great, but I'm hopeful. Nope, I don't hear nothing. So I proceed to move in, and with my hand free, I steady my gun hand, and I approach in very quietly, and I move immediately over to the side of the door. So it's like I just come in and I step over, opposite from the way the door is moving. Does that make sense? And I'm keeping my eyes open and looking for anything. I take note of the foot sticking out from behind the couch, but yeah.
I take note of the foot.
I take note of the foot. I see where it is.
It's still there.
Just a
And,
foot.
I'm like, because I don't have a flashlight, so I'm like calling Lily to follow.
Yep, I'm gonna kind of mirror your movement. Come, go through the door, step to the side, look for, make sure that scan the room real quick. Try to make a small profile as I can so nobody shoots at me. Make note of the foot that it's still there.
Okay, so once you go through the doorway, this is a entryway. And there seems to be an L-shaped hallway going off to your left. And there's a doorway that is opened, and that looks like that's the reception room. And you see the fireplace and the couch, large rug, and possibly signs of a struggle looking around in there. But you do see the foot sticking out from behind the couch if you look that way.
I'm gonna wave or signal to Rose for her to come in since it seems to be clear.
I'm in.
Right. And going back now to our Mr. Carfax, as you go down into the basement, the stairs squeak a bit as you're descending. It's a very simple staircase. But you see the large, generator. It almost is the size of like that old style boiler generator. So the fact that it's out, you're like, is there fuel? And it takes you a moment. You're like, you knock on the fuel container. Yeah, there's definitely fuel in it. Somebody must have just turned it off. But we'll go ahead and just say, let's do a simple strength check. It is a pull Ginny in order to start this thing up. So you're going to have to put your back into it.
It is a hard success.
Very good.
He rolls up his sleeves dramatically, but he gets it done. Oh, just like my younger years.
The Ginny, you just yank on that cord, and of course, in that old style, the cord comes off entirely once you do. The flywheel begins to spin, and it engages. And after a few seconds, the lights flash once, twice, 3 times, and then it starts to power up the entire house. Lights begin to illuminate the basement, and everyone, the rooms that you're in, lights are now on.
Guess Jacob got or Mr. Fairfax?
Carfax.
Carfax.
Looks like Mr. Carfax
Like,
got the lights
like
on.
Carfax, but
Guess so.
Okay. I stand up and kind of look around. Do I see anything in here, in the entry area, besides now that the lights are on? Do I notice any? I'm looking for bloody footprints, muddy footprints. wet floor.
You now will. Let's go ahead and actually do that as a spot hidden. Let's start with that.
That is with my keen vision. That is a hard success.
All right. So looking in this entryway, you do see the telltale signs of footprints leaving. Uh, Large, heavy prints, workman's boots, mud. Came in, went, looks like they went a couple places in the house. Uh, Whatever has happened in this reception area, and then departed from the reception and back out the front door.
No, no.
What's wrong?
These footprints leave again. We might need to go get Jacob.
So, but not in here right now. So let's go. Why don't you
We
go?
need to find the grandfather, but
Right, you go help. You go to Jacob, and Rose and I can take care of the grandfather. Since it doesn't
Okay.
seem that person's here right now.
yeah, hopefully. Okay, yeah, be safe. I'm going to I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna start heading around to where see if I can find the. Let me see if I can find a cellar door. Did Amelia happen to say if there was a way to access the cellar from inside the house as well?
She did not, nobody asked, but there is, now the lights are illuminating everything, there is a staircase that ascends from the basement, going up into the house. If you go and try to find that location, there is a door off the hallway that leads to the basement.
I'm gonna check. I'm just gonna start, well, carefully checking doors, but I'm gonna be looking for see if there are any stairs down, because I'm concerned that some big burly fella is outside.
All right, you checking doors. You actually find 2 rooms before you get to it. 3 rooms. You find a study, what appears to be a master bedroom, Amelia's room, and then finally you find the staircase that descends. And more likely, Jacob, the door opens in front of you, and as you're coming up inside, and you see Grace looking down.
Oh, well. Did you find the grandfather?
I think so. Did you see anybody down there?
No, just the generator down there. They're awfully large.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, let's get up here and let's. Is there a lock on this door?
Nope.
I'm gonna shut that door and look for a chair that I can then wedge under it.
All right, you wedge a chair under the doorway. At this point, what is it that everyone thinks they're going to do? For the most part, it appears that whoever broke into the house is long since gone. You don't hear them. You don't see signs of them. Of course, you didn't pass anyone on the road coming up. But where is everybody going to go ahead and go? Where are y'all going to focus as a group?
I was going to go ahead and have, well, I will confer with my friends or my companions. Do we want to bring Amelia inside or leave her out in the car? Whoever was in here is not in here anymore, so.
Let's check the grandfather out first before we bring her in here because
Okay.
I don't really need her weeping and getting hysterical.
Is he going to be alright, or is it...
We got to check him out first. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
We should probably take him to hospital either way.
Most likely, but he was shot a long time ago, I think, and I don't have much hope. But let's go check him out.
We don't even know that he was shot yet. Let's go look at him. We've just noticed that he has a foot.
It's just the foot.
Just a foot.
Just a foot.
So, as you move into the reception room, there is the remains of what appears to be a box that has been broken there in front of the fireplace, and you have to pass that to go and find him. And behind the sofa, leaning up against the wall, you find the doctor. So, Dr. Webb as is probably going to be obvious. It would have been something that you see on one of his awards here on the wall. There are different certificates here. But appears that he would have been the classic New England physician, an older gentleman, white hair, uh, kind of well dressed, very well dressed from the appearance of it, and he is slumped up against the wall. There is the signs of a shotgun blast to his shoulder. Uh, not. Well, I'll go ahead and we're going to say that everyone's going to go ahead and give me a sanity check really quick.
Hey, John, one of my talents is hardened that I don't lose sanity for attacking other humans, horrific injuries, or the deceased.
Yeah, I think Rose has that too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. Then y'all are square.
Okay. I've seen worse.
I got 60, and my sanity's only 50, so I did not make it.
I
Even
made
being, huh?
I made my sanity check.
So yeah, just me. Even years of driving an ambulance on the battlefront, still I'm just not used to seeing all that.
Well, the wound itself is one thing, and you're going to lose 4 points of sanity
Okay.
because the thing is, it's not just the wound. His eyes look bloodshot. And it's more that, the redness to his eyes, the unnaturalness to that also is going to be what drives the sanity check. You're seeing a corpse, obviously, and on top of that, you're seeing a corpse that just does not look normal. Does anyone want to make any, medicine checks based on that?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't have medicine, so I just have first aid. I don't think that applies to this.
That's a 29, which is a regular success.
This does not make sense to you. Looking at him, you're pretty sure that the amount of blood that he lost from the shotgun wound, it's very unlikely that that is the cause of death that is taking place. Instead, what you're looking at is his eyes give you some other idea. Something else has happened. Because it is the color and texture of cauterization. His eyes show red as if they have been boiled, and the flesh has putrefied into that reddish kind of muscular mass.
Never seen that before, and I've seen a lot of wounds from the war, people suffering attacks from mustard gas, but what could do that to his eyes? Horrible.
Yeah, that's bad.
You're also looking at the body, and you're noticing that his joints, you actually find a thumb, and each joint on that thumb is bent the wrong way.
You.
And it was not done externally. It is as if the muscles themselves pulled his thumb into that position.
All of his joints are like that, you said?
Just on one thumb, but if are you going to investigate a little bit further with that, Rose?
Sorry, hold on. Yes, she will. I'm making a note of it.
No, please.
As you investigate a little bit further and you move an arm, the arm is almost like shattered glass. It
Whoa.
is, and again, in this time, it is as if the arm itself shattered itself, pulling itself in different directions.
Maybe he fell down the basement stairs and... No, that doesn't make sense, because why would he be shot?
Oh, and this, I mean, it's weird. It's almost like this didn't happen outside of him. Like it happened, like his body did this, or something made his body do this.
Like his muscles just all tightened up so badly that it just shattered the bones?
I didn't even know that could happen.
I've never...
Wow,
I've never seen it, but
Jacob, since they're, looking at the body a little bit closely, there's that box nearby. Are you going to take a look at that?
Sure.
I would
Do I
be
want to?
willing take a
No,
look at
but,
the box. Yeah,
yes,
I would
let's
be
do
willing
it.
to take a look at the box too, but
All right, now feel free. But I will say, Jacob, if you wish to pick it up, you can, and both of you can look at it together.
yeah, I have to look away from the body.
The box is actually fairly heavy, and when you look at it, it's metal. But it's been covered in something. Maybe paint? You're not sure. But it's roughly about 16 inches by about 9 inches. And now you're looking at it, it's on small clawed feet. And there's something distinctly almost funeral-esque in its appearance. Like, this looks like something you would see maybe at a, part of some sort of display at a ceremony for the deceased or something like that. Now, does anyone in your group have a POW higher than 70?
75.
I do not.
You have a distinct sense of dread looking at it. In fact, handling it, you're going to go ahead and lose 1 point of sanity. All of you are...
She just says no. No, I don't.
Didn't want to touch the box.
I will say, though, you also smell something from it. And there's a smell of almost wax. Like that smell of candle wax. That have you ever had like a candle break and it has a really odd odor when wax is freshly broken?
Is the fire still... Is the fireplace going?
The fireplace
all,
is
or-
out.
Darn.
Did we open the box or just pick it up?
Just pick it up. It appears that it has been bashed open, perhaps.
Can we see what's in it?
Looking
I don't know
inside
if we
is
want to,
nothing.
madam. I think we'd much rather get rid of it. Something off about this thing.
All right.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Well, this this whole incident is starting to make me feel rather uncomfortable. Let's just set it over here, by the fireplace.
Jacob can't put it down fast enough. He's just like, ugh.
Is there a blanket or anything on the sofa, like a throw or an Afghan, something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna take it and toss it over the box.
It's a nice little large doily you toss over the top of it.
Something. Tea cozy. Anything.
and she does it. It's like Rose like reaches because she thinks that she's gonna put it over the body, and then it's like, oh.
No, yeah.
So,
okay.
I guess a little gallows humor. Good news is we don't have to worry about getting them to a doctor.
Oh, I do not want to go out and tell that little girl anything.
We need to get a constable, or what do they have here in the police? Yes, the police.
Sheriffs.
Grace, I know you don't like looking at the bodies, but did you bring your camera with you?
Yeah, it's in my bag, and
Do-
I pull out my camera and
Let's take a couple pictures so we can report back to the to the authorities of what we found in case there's any questions on if we disturbed the body or
Sure.
disturbed anything.
And I do. I take a few photographs. Different angles.
All right.
Somebody turn the fan on. Let his hair blow. Sorry.
Give us pouty. Give us angry.
No, no,
Give
no.
us eyes burned out. Smoldering eyes. Wait.
Eyes burnt. Something very different.
Yeah, I take a few pictures and also take some notes. I'm also going to be kind of picking around the room. Do I see anything that would look like... After I take the pictures, I would also be interested in probably looking for... Maybe when I was opening doors looking for the cellar, did I see like an office or a study or anything like that?
Absolutely. There, the first room that you actually would have come to, going from the front door and taking a left into that hallway, the first door is actually appears to be a study or office for the doctor.
Okay, after I take the pictures, I want to continue doing like a spot hidden in the room that he's in. I want to do a spot hidden in the, and then go to the study and see if there's anything, I don't know, anything that could do something like that. Especially following the footsteps that came in, the footprints.
I think I'll go out to the car and let Amelia know that her grandfather's dead. And see if she could give us any more information on who might have wanted to hurt him.
Are we bringing her inside?
I'll ask her and see what she's comfortable with. She may be more comfortable in her own room than sitting out in the dark in the car.
Yeah. We can't let her into the room with the body, though.
Yeah, the moment you say that the grandfather's dead, she begins to cry. And if you ask too many questions, she's along the lines of, "Are we certain he's gone?" Is going to be the first question.
We're very certain he's gone. We checked very thoroughly. The young lady that's with us is... I'll fib here at this point and say she's a doctor. She knows what she's doing.
She really does not want to go inside.
You can stay out here in the car, but I figure you might be more comfortable maybe in your room so you can lay down.
She again, she's like, I do not wish to go in there. And
It's fair.
Maybe we'll just go to the constable's office next. We should just, if there's a murderer around, we shouldn't be here.
she nods, but she's like, there's... Maybe the constable will be back on his nightly patrol. He comes through, he stops at the diner every night. And she kind of not, she's kind of trying to busy herself in her mind to some extent. She's like, yeah, that would be the best way. There's no telephones otherwise, and we might not be able to get him. We just have a county police department. And did they take anything else?
I don't know
Doesn't
what...
look like it.
Did they take anything? Did they just come to kill my grandfather?
There's a... Am I the only one talking to her right now, or who else is with me?
I can say, we can scene wave a little bit and say that she's on the front porch because she got curious.
There was a box that was thrown on the floor. That looks like the only thing that was really disrupted in the room where your grandfather was in. I mean, we don't know your house well enough to know if anything else is missing, but it doesn't look like anybody was ransacking it for anything.
Is there something you're concerned that was taken?
I just don't understand why they would have come. I don't understand what their goal was. Why would they just come and kill my grandfather? And she excuses herself, but she says, just see if it looks like anything's been broken.
We told you there was a box that was broken. Had clawed feet.
It was my grandfather. Is that... he always treated it with a certain amount of respect. He said that it's a family heirloom, something that's been passed down.
Well, it's been passed down to the floor and busted at this point. Um, sorry.
So you can see the bedside manner is not
I'm
strong suit.
I was an ambulance driver, okay? And I'm a photographer. I'm not the one that talks to people. Why don't you go sit back in the car? We'll do a little bit more looking around here. Honk the horn if you see the police officer on his rounds. Hopefully at the diner when they know that there's been an incident, which they do know because we left in quite a hurry, they can tell him to come out here.
And she nods, and she goes back and sits in the car.
Now,
And
I don't know if it's true for everyone else in the area, but the waitress Mary seemed awfully uncomfortable about the family. Very sort of displeased about them. Miffed.
What, like they're weird or something? Like the town doesn't care for them?
It was hard to get a read on.
Maybe it's because, apparently they put on airs. I mean, because they seem to be very well to do, and I guess maybe the rural people around the town don't really care for that. But you said in his reception hall there was like awards, or was it just like his medical license and stuff?
Medical licenses, a few rewards. There's even little things like, citizen of the county, key to the county, stuff like that.
Does it look like he sees patients? He saw patients in this home.
Yes, it did.
Okay. All right. Again, I want to go to the study. I would have told Amelia when I told her to go out to the car. I would have said lock the doors. Also, because she should be able to get out from the inside if the doors are locked. It's just nobody should be able to get in, and we have the keys. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
Don't play the radio to ruin the battery.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I want to do a spot hidden around his study and see if I see anything even resembling something that might be associated with that strange box, or even maybe a journal or something, anything I can pick through.
Okay. I'm going to say, so you go into the doctor's study, and I want to make sure, do y'all want to divide up to different rooms? Are y'all going to go room by room together? How do y'all want to do this? Because there are roughly about 4 different rooms.
You can split up. I think it's fairly safe for us in character. This is in character because I know it's not safe anyway. It's fairly safe for us to go check out the other rooms. I mean, I for one don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm just going to look for anything that stands out, and I suggest that we all do the same.
Yeah. I would like to see if he saw any patients today and who the last one was. I'm going to see if he's got anything going on in his office.
That's a good idea.
Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to describe the room first. And that is that the office seems to be very distinguished. Obviously, this is where he actually did his practice. There is a raised bench for a patient to lay down. The walls are covered in those pinned, wall pieces that have the butterflies pinned in them, as well as the medical licenses. And there's also a roll-topped bureau in there. So we can start off with that room. There's also the matter of the doctor's bedroom, Amelia's bedroom, and also what appears to have been Amelia's study. So those, I will go and toss out that those are the other rooms present. If anybody wants to, call one of those to go look at.
It's interesting that Amelia has a study.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I mean, if Rose has kind of gleaned everything from the body that she can, excuse me, that she can, she could set off to Amelia's study.
Yeah, if we could shut the room with the body in, we can just seal that off.
I guess I'll hit the doctor's bedroom, or would you feel more comfortable going through the doctor's bedroom, Mr. Carfax?
Well, I think I would prefer that over the ladies' chambers for sure.
All right, then I will look through Amelia's bedroom.
Well, let's go ahead and we're going to do our spot hiddens. We're going to get. I'm gonna just go ahead and let audience and cast members know. We're gonna get the spot hiddens done and give you all your information from that, and then we will be taking a break. But let's go ahead and get those out of the way really quick. Oh, so for the doctor's study, let's get a search that spot hidden for that one.
I got an extreme success. I rolled a 3 with my keen vision.
Excellent.
Hey, I'm sorry. I got to step away real quick. Somebody just ran up to my front door, and I got to go see what that's all about.
All right, no
All right,
problem.
that's all right.
1 second.
So, we'll deal with the doctor's study then really quick while he steps away. Inside the bureau, it looks like it was briefly opened, and in there you find $600 folded together in cash. What appears to be an account book from Arkham First National. There's a small pot of funny smelling wax. And you actually can put together that the smell of this wax is the same as what you smelled on the box. But hidden underneath all of that and kind of wedged near the back, you find what appears to be his journal or a journal of some sort. And you pick it up briefly, and you just kind of open the cover, and it looks like nobody has written in it. You kind of fan through the pages, and it's like near the dead middle of it, there are some pages written on, and the rest of the book is empty. And we'll come back to you really quick in this moment. We might even do that. We might do what's in the journal right before we go to break. Going around the room with everyone else really quick. In the bedroom, who is going for that one? For Dr. Webb's bedroom?
I'll do that one.
All right, let's go ahead and do our check hidden for there.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 5 luck points to make it a regular success.
All right. There isn't too much that you find in here. Seems very average. He has a nightstand next to a large king-size bed. Looks like he maintains his room to nth degree, ordered, precise. But on that nightstand is a Bible. You pick it up and it's very old. But as you're looking at it, you notice that on the leather, imprinted into it is actually some words that kind of ring out for you, and it says, "The sins of the physician shall be judged by the Lord alone."
Yeah, I don't like that.
All right, so moving on, let's go ahead and do Amelia's room.
Okay. That's it's an extreme success. I rolled a 9.
Investigators.
Yeah.
You find for the most part, nothing sticks out. Everything seems pretty organized for a young woman of note and of age and of probably society level birth if she was in the big city. But what stands out for you is the fact that her clothing is nicely and neatly folded as if it has only recently been unpacked. It has that kind of flatness as if it's been inside of a case. Moving on to her study, though.
That's a regular success.
Now, in the study, you find, for Amelia, that there's some sleeping drafts and also correspondence that shows that she has recently spent time in the Boston Society for the Care of Girls. Go ahead and give me a medicine check on that.
That's a 20 even. So that is a hard success.
you've heard of it in passing. It is a upscale, off the market, as it were, sanatorium for girls of society.
Um, in these correspondences, does it make it clear whether it seems like she was visiting there for some reason or that she was there as a patient?
She was there as a patient.
Okay.
And according to these papers, she has been given a clean bill of health, and that it was concerning nightmares that she was having. That said, though, we have the documents, the journal that was found. So, I'm going to ask, Grace, are you going to go ahead and start reading it? And it's essentially only about 6 pages.
Does it look like it's written in clear, steady hand?
Mostly.
Sure.
All right, one moment. I'm going to pull something up for our viewers as well as I read this to you. Sorry about that. So, lean on back for a tale. The useful, if unorthodox, resident of the casket, our sin eater, as far as I can ascertain, no creature currently known to science. Where it came from and where I do not know, nor did my predecessor, from whom I inherited it, though it is undoubtedly many centuries old, if not more. Its uses have been many over the years, although it has predominantly been employed to rid certain local, socially conscious families of unwanted offspring, be they the result of centuries of inbreeding, or unfortunate accidents, or the unwholesome activities. The legality of the creature's use is debatable. It is efficient, if its efficiency is not, even in such cases where death by other means proved intractable. The conscience in this matter, and that of those who came before me, is clear, for many of the children would never have survived regardless, given their deformities or other less obvious abnormalities. As for the rest, the Lord does not suffer such blasphemies to live. As in all things, safety first. Should the Sin Eater escape its confines, then the only way to recall it is to provide it with a suitable prepared patient, such that becomes satiated and lethargic and willingly returns to its coffer. Inscribe the spiral mark shown in blood, preferably the patient's, but not essential, or on the patient's forehead. The patient does not need to be a child, but it must be a human and naturally alive at the point of contact. Experiments with animals and corpses carried out by my antecedents were apparently most unsatisfactory. If the patient is conscious, then they will need to be suitably restrained. Once all preparations are complete, perform the recitation as phonetically transcribed below, and perform the Sin Eater to permit the Sin Eater to perform its duties, after which it will return to its casket. Once it is within, close the lid and seal it immediately with a liberal application of aromatic wax ointment. Turning the page, you see a symbol. One moment, let me go ahead and pull this up. It says, "Ya ya, hey makashmane, sak mija kak," and a whole bunch of other words. I was taught the Sin Eater can be summoned and directed to seek out a person at some distance. If the correct phraseology is used, this being subtly different to the procedure previously noted, requiring modification to the symbol pattern and phrasing. I detail this, but below worn, and it's torn off at that point.
You know what, Webb?
The page after that, though, reads a list of initials and dates and amounts. You're not certain. And the pages are also stained.
You.
Perhaps a reddish color to them. And I think that is where we're going to take our break for the moment. Hope everybody is doing well. We will be back in about 10 minutes. All right, well, hello and welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying this little different tale we're doing for Call of Cthulhu. It's a one-shot. Next week, Roxy will be back in the GM or the keeper seat, as it were, and the regular characters will be back and alive, and we'll see how things go for these.
Mhm.
Not ominous at all. But that said, thank you all for sticking around and hanging out with us tonight and continuing it on. Let me know if you're out there in Chatland, if you can hear our background sounds, if they sound all right, or if they're a little loud or need to come up a little bit. Please let us know. But that said, when we last left our team, you are all out there at this cottage. You have discovered the corpse of Dr. Webb out in the car. Waits his granddaughter Amelia, and a strange tale has now been dropped into your lap.
Yeah. Um.
By the way,
Question.
go ahead
Oh,
and give me a sanity check.
Of course. And then
It's
I
real.
have questions. Where did that? The heck? There it is. Sanity. I succeeded.
All right. It's a lot to take in that you've been thrust into a world where there is obviously something more than supernatural to it, more than what you even thought or could have imagined. And on top of that, what this doctor and his predecessors have been doing.
I have one question. What do we have the doctor's first name?
Uh, yes, it would probably be on the wall there. One moment.
Oh, I'm making him look something up, y'all.
Yeah, you are.
Is Amelia spelled with an A or an E?
E.
That's
I
what was
know,
gonna
me and
figure it out.
my accent or the way I talk, it's
No,
Amelia, Amelia.
no. My grandmother's middle name was Amelia, and it is one of my favorite names. And I always spell it with an A because that was how she spelled it.
Cool. Let me see here. Don't tell me. Okay, I was about to say, don't tell me that somehow it didn't download that one page out of all the pages that it downloaded. But it actually does not give me.
Okay, if it doesn't give his name, that's fine.
He's Dr. Webb.
Creepy
Beddoes,
doctor.
Beddoes Webb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I said,
Beddoes Webb.
Beddoes. Creepy doctor needs a creepy name.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Oh, and then the last page says, "May God have mercy upon the physician." How strange. Okay. I close the journal and I Did I see any patient files?
There are a few patient files. It looks like he treats everybody in the county. He might be the county doctor.
Um. Huh. I'm having Hmm. Grace is trying to put things together. This booklet has unsettled her quite a bit. I go back out to the main hall, and I kind of have my eyes downcast, and I'm looking at the footprints again. And I'll call out. Is everybody okay?
I'll come out of Amelia's room and be like, "Yeah, I didn't find anything in there. It looks like she just got back from a trip. The clothes are just folded like so neat and square, like they just came out of a suitcase. I don't know."
Rose
find
like pops
something?
out and she's like, "Yeah, she got back from a trip. All right."
Oh, really?
Pops her head out.
From where?
She was at. Apparently, she suffered from horrific nightmares, and she spent some time at a sanatorium.
Oh,
Well, that
Oh.
explains why the town didn't view her particularly favorably.
It could be. Did you find anything,
Just
Mr.
a
Carfax?
really weird Bible.
Weird Bible. Can you bring it out? Can I look at it?
Certainly, just a description on the front covers. Perhaps, we felt some self-flagellation was in order.
Is the inscription on the inside cover the same as the handwriting in the journal?
No, this is as if it was. This is a family.
Oh, like gilded?
Yes.
On the front? Oh.
Family business, maybe.
ew.
Okay. And there was nothing else odd about it, like flipping through it. There's nothing odd.
Just it's a family Bible, so more than likely it's also genealogy. So Dr. Webb begat Dr. Webb begat Dr. Webb.
Hold on.
Does it have a genealogy in there?
Yes.
Can I look at the genealogy and compare it with the notes that I have in the journal?
None of the names match up.
Right.
There,
okay.
Grace.
I found this journal, and it's a bunch of sick nonsense, but it speaks of unwanted children and something that could get rid of them. A creature.
Creature. Like they fed them to like the hogs.
I don't think it's a hog. I think it belongs in that little box that we found. Which, I open it up.
Like an implement? Like a tool?
Let me read this to you, and I read it to them, and I look at all them, and I kind of emphasize certain parts, like the sin eater that lives in the casket, that it's been predominantly employed to rid certain local socially conscious families of unwanted offspring, be they the result of centuries of inbreeding, unfortunate accidents, or other unwholesome activities. I stress that he felt that it was acceptable because the Lord does not suffer deformed and abnormal children to live. And I look at Lily and I'm like, I know, just let me finish. And I know it sounds crazy.
All of y'all go ahead and make some sanity checks as this is going on.
Yeah, I start going through all of it, and it's like, it says here.
Make mine.
Oh, I just made mine on the nose.
Everybody made theirs? Wow.
I says it says here should the Sin Eater escape its confines, then the only way to recall it is to provide it with a suitably prepared patient, such that it becomes satiated and lethargic, and willingly returns to its coffer. So,
Feed it and stuff it back in its box.
feed it and it'll go back to its box.
So,
And then it has to be sealed with this wax, which I did find some, and I noticed it on the box when we were looking at it earlier.
What does that mean? Properly prepared.
Well,
like,
so
have to
it
be
lists.
injured?
Sedated, perhaps?
It looks like. Yeah, it looks like there's a procedure. I hate using the word ritual, but it seems like there's almost a ritual, and then there's some nonsense gibberish words, or perhaps it's a language I'm not familiar with, but it's just phonetically written, so I don't even think we could translate it. It's just the sounds, but
Can I see it?
I have a device I've been
Yeah.
working on.
oh.
Perhaps it might be able to translate for us. Although,
Yeah, I hand the book over to
wait,
Rose.
give me a moment. I'm going to go retrieve my device from the vehicle. This is so exciting. I've never had to
Jacob's
use it.
so excited to be useful.
This is the first time I've had to use this invention of mine.
Oh, he just lit up like a
So
Christmas
excited
tree.
his mustache fell off.
I know, so excited my mustache popped right off.
Just right off.
But Grace, you're not actually entertaining the idea that there's some supernatural creature that the doctor was controlling.
I'm not entertaining the idea. I'm just saying there's something weird going on here, and somebody was here. We see the feet. We see the footprints. And
Yeah,
I'm starting to wonder. These are large boot prints. And Grace was trying to fight off that large handyman at the diner. Right? Wasn't she? Didn't she, when he picked her up out of the road?
And I think I thought she was just out of her mind,
Oh, she could be.
panicking.
I'm starting to wonder if the monster that did all this isn't here.
Or maybe the good doctor was up to something shady and a parent or someone else got wind of it and decided to put a stop to it.
Oh, the guilt must have caught up with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
How old is Amelia?
Amelia is fairly young. I believe she is just around the age of 21.
But she
she
is
look
old enough
pregnant?
to potentially have a baby.
Yes.
Ooh.
Where had she? Did you tell us where you found the papers from? Rose?
I don't remember the exact name of it, but she pinged it in her head as a sanatorium. It was like the
Right.
Boston, some kind of facility for girls.
Yeah. I guess my question is, did you tell us that?
Oh yeah, she had
Okay.
like popped out the door and she was like, yeah, she went on a trip to a sanitarium.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go look at those since they're looking at the book and Jacob has gone to get his machine. I'm going to go through that area too and look at the papers and see if, because you didn't tell us what they were there for. I know he said nightmares, but I want to see if there's anything about pregnancy or something.
I mean, yeah, if there are like patient intake forms or anything, it may give a clue as
I
to her
do-
condition.
I do point out that before I leave the book in your hands, I'm like, there is one more page at the back that doesn't make any, or near the end, that doesn't make any sense, but it's stained in something reddish, and the last. Did
I
we
don't
ever get a
suppose
date?
it's wine.
What was that?
Did we ever get a date? A date for this? What day is it?
It does not give a specific date, but it is in the 20s, 1920s.
Okay. I just see here that it says it's got the last entry is an E, November 10th, 1919, 1500. I don't know what that amount or number is at the end, but I think that the E may stand for Amelia. And I don't know what this means.
Maybe the family's been charging money to get rid of people? I mean, what better way to make it look like it was a medically induced death? You know?
Maybe.
These
Grandma comes in with
amounts
a
are
headache.
so like jumping around from anywhere from 220 to what is the highest 45.95. That's
I mean, the 220 was back in 1879, so inflation maybe?
well, right, but then I mean, what did he give
Oh.
his granddaughter a family discount to go from 45.95 to 1500?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Sounds
maybe.
like a big sum for.
It's also there. I mean, we're assuming that it's monetary, but there is no actual
I mean, I have
dollar value.
I also, before I, like when that is said, I'm like, oh, and I go and I retrieve the ledger book. I have a ledger for Arkham First National.
Neat.
I don't know why like is it like a personal account log,
It is,
or
yeah,
is it like a literal bank ledger for like a lot of stuff?
it's a bank ledger for his practice.
Okay.
And if you actually look at there, I mean, it gives out all his expenditures and things he's been paid.
Can I find any link between this and the note in the journal?
You see the same letters marked. Like it says that the amount given matches up with the amount that went into the bank. So where it says, and for him it starts, I believe, in the thousands area range. That's when his practice started, I believe, as well,
Okay.
at this location.
Okay.
So
That is a lot of money.
A
A
tidy
lot of
sum
money.
for.
A lot of money.
And if
Oh.
you notice, there's letters that repeat.
the
Yes.
ledger also denotes that currently in his account is $19,000.
Ooh.
I don't even have that now.
I
No,
don't
no,
know
let's.
that I've ever had that. Is outside of like major circumstances, like selling a house.
Let's not worry about a dead man's money. Here is this device, and it looks like a trumpet horn that's been modified to it. There's some weird wire sticking out of it. Now, all you have to do is phonetically say the words, and whoever's listening on the other end should be able to understand it in clear British English.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't
It is
know if
the
I want to be around the need for
linguistophone.
The what?
The linguistophone.
Linguistophone. I like that.
We have to say it.
I
Assuming
don't
this
know
is a
how.
language of Earth origins.
I don't know that I want to say these words. They make me feel uncomfortable.
I generally.
Would you
I
like
can't
to be
say
on
it.
Would you like
Yeah.
to be on the listening end then?
If it makes you feel comfortable, Grace, I'll say the words and you can listen. Or Mr. Carfax, since it's Mr. Carfax's device, he could say the words.
What is this? Is this some Latin? No big deal.
No, I speak Latin.
If you take the time and using the device, or however, this is not a language of this world.
But that's order. Every single language of this Earth has been built into this device. Took me years.
That's a heck of a device. I
Here-
think. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna be like, I was gonna have Mr. Carfax. Do you speak French?
No, but I understand it very well.
I was gonna start speaking French into one end and see if it came out English out to the other.
Perfect English.
Cool.
Very British, dry.
Nice.
Kind of like an automated.
like a Siri.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we did say any of these words, I would have recommended not saying them in order, just because it doesn't. I don't like these words.
Well, I will say at this point, you can spend a little bit more time here, but there is the question of the sheriff or the local county police that would be at the diner soon, hopefully.
Maybe we
She's
should
never
go back.
pap the horn.
Okay.
Thankfully.
I mean, I suppose maybe we could drop Amelia off at the diner. I don't think she wants to stay in the car all night.
No, let's. I'd feel comfortable if we got away from that body.
Should
And
we
away
take the
from
box
whatever.
with us?
No, I don't think we should put that box in Mr. Carfax's car.
Just leave the crime scene as it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is clearly evidence of the doctor's doings. Perhaps it's best kept here.
Didn't you say that generator was too big for this house?
It is definitely far too big for this house.
When we go back outside, do I see any like electrical wires running to any other outbuildings or anything like that?
In fact, you could.
Oh,
Go in the woods. Great.
Behind the house, which if you go out back, there's actually a large porch, much closer to what you would have expected, but this is kind of grandiose. Like, this would have been a porch for entertaining people. Past that is a large carport.
okay. I'm going to approach. Did someone give the book back to me, or is someone else carrying it? The journal.
I mean, if you wanted it back,
Yeah, I'll take it
we
back.
probably
I'm just
would have
gonna
given it back to you.
stuff it in my satchel, my bag, and then I'm gonna head. Yeah, I'm gonna re-equip my pistol or my revolver, and I'm gonna head back towards that way. And I'm gonna ask Lily to follow me with the light.
Of course.
Is anyone back here?
The garage is actually illuminated now, and it appears the good doctor liked to collect the new cars. There's about 4 cars in this garage.
He was apparently good at his job.
Carfax lets out a whistle of appreciation.
Or he was the only one doing it.
Wouldn't it be amazing if someone could just create a report based on the history of each of these vehicles?
Or if there
And
was
that's
just a-
how it was born.
Or if there was just a website where you could type in your symptoms and get a diagnosis back.
Right? Or I don't know. I know Lily, that you think that this book is just madness and it's nonsense, but something about it just doesn't sit right with me. And I don't know that. What if he's?
We've both been on cases.
What if these are
where-
other people's? What if these are other people's cars?
I mean, it could be. I can't see very many people around this area being able to afford brand new cars like this. And you and I have
Do you
both
see
been
very many
on-
people around this area being able to afford $4,000 medical procedures?
Or
The,
if
transaction
Rose were to reach out to one of the handles, are the cars unlocked or are they locked?
They're unlocked.
She'll
there any
pop it
belongings
open
in
and
them?
she'll be looking for papers. I'm assuming they
we
did.
also have the ledgers,
papers.
right? Would they have like purchase history of vehicles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, are there purchase history for him?
Yeah. It appears there must be some fairly influential or old families in this area that prefer to use him for their medical needs.
disposal needs. I mean, if the list of if the list in the back is amounts of money for disposing of unwanted children, that doesn't add up to all the money that he has. So he is obviously sane enough to keep his practice going because,
Well, he was.
well, he was.
I mean, honestly, we don't even know if that was the good doctor. We assume.
Well, we
She
also
never came-
this thing, this ritual or whatever it is with these children. Maybe I'm slow on the uptake, but at first it seems to be talking about abortion, but then it clearly is talking about children that are born, because the sin eater comes out
If it escape, yeah.
and looks for like a body.
Yeah, it's I don't understand. I don't know how they use it. He doesn't talk about it. He just says that they use them. Yeah, it's not necessarily abortion, but it's definitely feeding babies to it.
Or people they
But I don't-
want around anymore.
Yeah. I think we need to. Is there anything else around this? Can I do a spot hidden in this garage and just see if I can find anything else related
Absolutely.
to weirdness? Okay.
Yeah.
I rolled 280s, so that's 89, and that is not a success.
There's
See,
really
King
nothing
Vision
more.
works until those 2 dice don't.
Theoretically, if he's taking patients, he should have some sort of, I don't know, like a space for medical procedures.
That was the office where the
Okay.
documents were found.
And it looked normal. There wasn't like creepy straps and hooks or anything like that, right?
No, there was no like surgical area or anything.
Yeah,
and you didn't see
I guess I was
anything
looking for like a more of a surgical area, like a.
Did you see anything like that in the basement?
No, it was just mostly the generator in there. It just takes up most of that space.
Maybe the creature doesn't need a surgical area to do its job. I think we need to get back and get the police. There's more here than I think we're equipped
Oh, well,
and prepared to deal with.
Right.
100% agree.
Yeah, but I mean,
I also
Yeah, but
would
how
think
are
that
we
we
gonna-
might want to have a conversation with Amelia.
Yeah, I wanna.
how
That's
do we
why
present this
also-
to the police without sounding insane?
We just say that she asked us for help and we went and there was a body and we left. Well, after looking around a bit.
And
We were just making sure the house was safe for the young lady, and ultimately decided
Yes.
best to go back.
and take the ledgers and the journal and
I didn't take all of the. I left the account ledger back there. I just took the journal.
well, let's not tell the police that.
You didn't want us to
Rose like
sound
looks
crazy.
down and she's still holding the crowbar. She's like, oh.
Just put it in the car, just in case.
It's a carport. It'll fit in here.
I'm.
Well, now
I'm,
my handprints are all over it.
Yeah, just take it with us. Just take it with. Yeah, I am very uncomfortable. I think we need to get back to somewhere else.
Let's head back to the diner then and see if the constable's there yet.
So you're gonna go back to the diner. Are you going to talk to Amelia on the way there?
I don't wish to speak to Amelia necessarily, but I'm going to take a close look at her because she had scratches and things on her, right? She was kind of roughed up.
Yes, as if she'd been running through the woods, though, more than anything.
Does it look like she has any like any signs that maybe something had ever been drawn on her forehead? Or anything like that? Does she have any smudges or...
Make a spot hidden check.
That is a regular success.
You don't seem to see any, but it also could have washed off in the rain.
In the rain. Okay.
As they're driving, I'll ask her. I was like, how long was your grandfather practicing medicine here?
A decade or two, I think.
So your entire life?
Yes, as long as I can remember, anyway.
Have you always lived with him?
Oh, no. No, I lived with my parents for a while, but they sadly passed in a car wreck.
So sorry to hear that.
She gets kind of quiet, though, when she mentions that.
When did you come to live with your grandfather? How, like, when? Recently?
About 3 years ago, yes.
Everything gone okay? Haven't
Oh,
had to go
e-
to any, I mean, after a car accident, were you admitted to any sort of hospital or anything?
I was not in the car with them. No,
Oh,
everything was fine with us.
I want to roll a psychology
Yeah, I'm
Insight.
watching her too.
insight check, because I am
Jacob's
I,
gonna focus on driving everybody
Yeah.
safely back home
Smart.
in this storm. But he's also like,
Rose is going to jump on that psychology bandwagon too.
I
The
got
one
a
and only
regular
time
success.
psychology works for me. I got a hard success.
Nice.
Okay, one hard success. Anybody else? What happened?
Critically failed. I rolled a 100.
Oh,
Dang!
but it's in our one shot, so that's good.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, how do you critically fail a like, how do you, what happens? Like, do you just have a mental break? I don't understand.
You're like, nope, she's guilty, even though she's like perfectly.
You're like, she's perfectly fine. Everything's great.
confirmation bias.
It's totally
I'm
normal.
sorry to say, but what would you have hoped to glean from her? What like if your character thought anything in the back of their mind, what it would have been?
I mean, based on the evidence that they kind of that they kind of have, she thinks that Amelia has undertaken or been a part of this ritual, not necessarily doing it, but that it was done either to her or a child or something that she was involved in.
Your failed, your failure with that, I'm gonna say, confirms that in your mind. I'm gonna say for the other two of you, obviously things were not fine, and you think that there is a greater source of trouble that she had.
Amelia, if I can ask you a question, I'm trying to get the 1 second. I gotta get the handout up. Did you remember where were you on November 10th, 1919?
She looks
That-
around, and I, I don't know. I don't remember. I think I was with my grandfather around then.
What year is it now?
It's in the 1920s, so it would have been
Okay.
a couple years after that.
So you don't remember you didn't go to like a hospital, or your grandfather didn't take you anywhere particular? When did your
I
parents
don't
have the car
remember.
accident?
I'm sorry. I think I'm getting a little car sick. I don't feel very well. And she kind of clams up.
Do we
Pulling
need to
in the right
pull
direction.
over?
No, I'll be fine. Let's just get where we're going. And your car makes its way back to the Orchard Run. The lights are still on. The the truck is still outside in this rain, uh, and it is still that torrential downpour. I'm guessing you all run in, getting out of the rain.
Is everybody still here that was here before?
Everyone is still there, and everyone is somewhat still, because there's another figure also there. At the far end of the counter stands a man, probably about 6 feet tall, and he is reaching onto the counter, grabbing handfuls of food and shoving it into his face. His other hand holds a shotgun.
Oh, that rain is terrible.
Uh,
I see we have a new customer.
Sam kind of just motions with his hands to be calm. Looking down at the ground, though, you also now see Mary is lying there. The fact that her eyes are still open and blood seemed to have poured from a wound, you think that she must have hit her head on the countertop nearby and is now lying motionless nearby. The man with the shotgun looks over your way and is staring at you while grabbing the food. Avis is grabbing handfuls of it and shoving it into his mouth.
Leo's gonna move towards Mary. I mean, that's what she does. She's a fucking doctor.
You mean Rose?
Yep. That's what I meant.
That's all right. That's funny.
Yep.
Yep.
What's her character again?
What's
Yeah.
happening?
What
day
game are we
is
playing?
it?
New character. Who
Oh.
this?
Rose.
Yeah. Rose is gonna doctor stuff.
Let's get a doctor stuff.
I think
I,
Jacob would like to sort of.
Flee.
Well, I mean, no, but well, yes, but also no. Kind of place himself between Mary and Rose and everybody else, and the guy with the shotgun in the like sitting down at the counter. Be like, oh yes, I would love one of your American coffees, please.
Are there muddy footprints? And does this man have boots on?
He does have boots on, obviously a worker's boots. There's not so much the footprints, but he also has the appearance of someone who's been running through the woods.
Is Herb still around? Big.
Yeah, Herb
Herb
is, Herb is sitting very cautiously nearby, but he is staring directly at this man.
Okay, good. I need somebody to challenge him and be on the lookout for if he does something stupid.
I'm gonna whisper, not whisper, but calmly ask Herb, do you know him?
Yeah, that was Mary's boyfriend
Did he do that to Mary just now?
when he came in. And the man standing there points at her with food dripping from his hand as he does. She all right?
Does she look all right?
He reaches over and grabs more food and shoves it in his mouth. Anyway, but he can make a psychology check with this.
Doing so well on those.
I got a regular success.
Regular success.
Regular success.
Oh, another regular success here.
You all are without a doubt keenly aware that this person has had a psychotic break.
I'm gonna look at Grace and be like, be ready. You know,
I'm not.
we can go get the doctor for you. It looks like you may need some help. Maybe Mary needs some help. Should I go get the doctor for you?
The doctor's not going to be moving. He
What do you
kind of
mean?
laughs as he says that.
Is Amelia in the house in the diner with us, or did she stay in the car?
Yes, she's there, and she has probably made herself as small as possible in the back of your group.
But she's gonna have a psychotic break soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, she clearly recognizes the man. Not that all the signs aren't pointing to him anyway.
But what do you mean the doctor's not gonna come?
He ain't gonna be moving anymore. he's let's say he's not with us. And Ethel at the table is like, "Oh my!" And he looks over. I was like, "Don't worry, doll. It wasn't me." And he grabs another handful of food and shoves it in his face.
I'm going to try to uh, move towards the end of the counter, perhaps away from him, whichever side I can get in behind the counter. And I'm going to say, I'm going to get some warm water for Mary's head.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
How is Mary? Is she alive? As Rose is checking her.
No, she is not.
Okay.
Oh no.
As I go around the counter, I am going to draw my gun very quietly. And I'm going to proceed down towards where he is. I'm not going to pull it out and be like, "Ooh, I got a gun." I'm going to look like I'm looking for water. And I'm going to be moving down toward his side of the bar, maybe looking for towels too. You know, it looks like I'm busying myself with looking for something, but I'm going to be ready to pull a gun on him to try to get him to get his on the ground.
I'm also going to try and look through my purse like I'm looking for something for Rose to help Mary with, but I'm just getting the gun.
And he's not really paying much attention to any of you as you are doing these actions. He keeps shoveling food, and with his mouth half full, he starts talking to her. He's just like, "It's a damn stupid plan, Mary. Damn stupid. God damn it. You said it would be easy. Go up there. They were probably loaded. I robbed them. We hop a car. We head to the big city. Screw this entire county." But no, I asked the doctor, "Where's the money?" He charges me. He charges me and tries to wrestle me for the gun. Nope, nope, Mary. Nah. I fought him off. You know me. Nobody's stronger, tougher than me, Mary. No, nobody. And he grabs more food and is just shoveling in. So it's kind of a sloppy mess as he's talking. Like food is falling out of his mouth and onto his shirt.
You want to take a second to breathe there?
I was running from it. He said, "Take the box." He said, if I wanted what he's got, take the box. After I shot him, he said, "Take the box." I broke open that box and it was light. It was light, and it jumped out of that box and into him. And he started screaming like I've never heard a man scream in my life. And then it came out of him. It came out of his eyes. And I ran. Tried to shoot it. Tried to lose it. No. I don't know what that was.
Do you
Is
think
there
maybe... Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, is there a frying pan behind this counter?
Absolutely.
I'm going to hit him upside the back of the head.
And out of curiosity, is he using both hands to shove food in his face, or is he doing it with one hand and the
One
other
hand
is on
has
the
the
shotgun?
has the shotgun. One hand is grabbing the food.
Is the finger on the trigger kind of situation, or is he?
It appears the finger's on the trigger. I'm going to who's really paying close attention to him with the shotgun? Out of this group here, I know obviously Roxy, your character definitely is. Who else is Jacob or no?
Yeah, Jacob's kind of sitting at the counter, sort of
Alright.
nearish to
I'm
him.
gonna roll randomly between the three of you, and I'm gonna say that Shawn, your character, go ahead and make a spot hidden.
That is a... Good God, why can't I roll this in our main game? That's a 3. Which is great. Extreme success, but I don't ever get to... I don't roll that in our main game.
It's a shot, so it's a sawed-off shotgun. And in a brief moment, while he's kind of waving it around, you're able to catch the light just right, and you can tell that both shells in the barrels have been expended.
So I can't get that information to Grace without shouting to it, but I'm going to move closer to Mr. Carfax and say, the gun's empty. The shotgun's empty. There's no rounds in it.
I still want to smack him upside the back of the head.
Yeah,
Well,
whack him.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Grab that frying pan and whack him.
And as she does so, Jacob will also lunge at him to sort of try and disarm him.
All right.
My brawl check did not succeed.
All
So
right.
maybe I slipped on some grease behind the counter. I don't know.
Not unless you failed. Like a dramatic failure.
Yeah, no, it's just I just did not succeed. I was 70
You
over
whiffed it.
25.
All right. Well,
Miscalculated.
seeing the rest of the group, go ahead and give me some checks for that. If you don't have the ability to fight, give me a strength check.
I got a hard success on my brawl check to just try and subdue him.
I failed my brawl check, so...
All right. Well, between you and Herb, you managed to wrestle him to the ground and disarm him. Of course, after a few seconds, Sam's there as well. The rest of you, get on top of him. You got the weapon away, and he just starts sobbing. It's this, I'm so sorry. Mary, I'm sorry.
Sam, how do you get the police out here fast if you need them? Is there a phone anywhere nearby? Is there a phone box?
You could travel up the road. It's about, if it wasn't for this storm, it's about a good 10 miles up the road. You could try to make a call there. There's a I don't even know if they're open, but there's a store up there. You can make a call. They might have a telephone box outside. That's the
You
next
don't have
best
any
thing you can do.
telephone boxes out here.
No. Telephone doesn't get put in out here until next week. I told you. And it's at this point that the lights in the room begin to blink.
Oh, no.
Is your generator going out?
No, it's the telephone pole.
Yeah, I remember the truck hit into it.
The wind's probably might break it at any moment.
Do you have a generator, Sam? A backup?
We got a backup, but I can kick it on if it goes out. And he's looking up, but the lights begin to flash on and off. Everybody, give me a spot hidden check.
No.
No.
12 is an extreme success.
Ooh, I got a regular success.
So, for the regular success, you know that as the lights flash on and off here in the building, there's a light outside that is also illuminating the night. For the excellent, the high level success one, that you can see the source of light. There seems to be like somebody carrying a flashlight coming around the end of the truck across the street.
Nope.
Like it's bouncing?
Kind of like it's bouncing, yes, but it's a singular point of light, an orb of light, pointing towards the diner. And as the light fluctuates here in the inside the diner, that's when it calls to your attention. But then you also see that orb of light just kind of emanating from that point. No one else has caught on to that yet.
Everybody, don't. I'm gonna go over to the diner door and I'm gonna see if there's a lock on it, or if it needs a key. Is there just a twist lock, or does it need a key?
There is a twist lock.
I twist lock it shut. Are there blinds?
I will say not so much blinds, but there are curtains.
Start closing the curtains.
What's going on?
There's something out there.
Could it be one of the constables then?
They'll knock if it is.
People
I
are...
don't see a body.
Rose will start pulling curtains.
Yeah.
Well, if you say so.
I just see a light. I don't see anybody carrying it. I know, but he was
think it's a
talking
thing?
crazy, and I'm uncomfortable.
Are you ever comfortable? Just curious.
And I was until tonight.
The
Yeah, I
light
mean-
emanating as it gets closer to the building is bluish in color. It takes you a moment. You're just like, that's not an electrical torch light. That's not a flashlight.
We haven't developed lights that look that color yet.
Okay. Oh.
That's future tech.
And you close up all the curtains. The light gets brighter and closer.
Do you
And
see it now?
Yeah. Yes,
What
we
are we
see it.
supposed to do? And then Jacob's eyes kind of dart to Mary's corpse. And then dart to the big subdued man. I'm like, do you think it will
Hey,
work?
Amelia.
Fresh?
Talking about doing it to the guy?
Well, maybe just the body here?
Why can't? She's dead. Doesn't it
Yeah.
need to be alive? Isn't that what the thing said? Hey, Amelia.
hey, and Walter stands up at the bar, and he's closer down towards the door of the place. But he's like, hey, I'm certain that whoever's out there, it's all fine, everything's good. And he starts to walk towards you, and that's when a tendril of light shoots through the exterior of this building and wraps itself around him, pulling him towards the wall. Everybody go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Sanity check.
Piss, piss, piss.
Wrong, Amelia.
Ooh, passed.
Ooh, okay.
I
Oh,
did
I failed
okay.
that one.
I succeed.
I succeed. I got a 7.
Nice. I got a 35.
I would
Okay.
like to
All right,
proceed to
so-
lose my marbles.
If you did not succeed, roll a d10 and take that off of your sanity.
Ouch.
Lost 10 sanity there, so.
Ouch. Is that a fifth of your sanity count?
Remember,
No.
Good.
you can actually this is pulp, so you can get rid of that technically with luck if you wanted
Sure,
to. It's
sure.
a one shot.
I mean, we're in the last little bit of the
Yeah.
show. Let's
this
just
is
go
the home
crazy, guys.
stretch. This is
Yeah.
when you go crazy in a one shot.
Let's go.
And
Let's
honestly,
literally go crazy.
weird light tentacle just picking up a dude is
That's not normal.
that's check on the crazy box.
Okay.
Okay.
Rose,
is
as
the-
this is going on, Rose does turn to Amelia, and she's like, Amelia. Not that I want to spill all your family secrets, but what the fuck is that?
She begins to scream. She's losing her marbles.
I don't think
Is
we're getting
there-
anything more out of her.
when
Amelia.
we subdued, or when Herb and Jacob subdued Mary's bastard of a boyfriend. Did he give a name? We don't have a name for him, right?
No, I would tell you that his
Kyle.
name. Yeah, Kyle.
call him
Why
Kyle.
not?
He looks like a Kyle, yeah.
No. So is Kyle bleeding?
I would say yes.
Okay, I'm going. You're gonna think I'm crazy, y'all, but we're doing it. And I
Wait, what?
take my bag off. I set it down. Chat says his name is Bait. Good call.
Yeah.
We're gonna I'm gonna set my bag down. I'm gonna pull out the journal. I'm gonna flip to the page with the picture on it. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna dip my finger in Kyle Bates' blood, and I'm gonna draw the symbol on his forehead. And is he unconscious?
He is babbling like a child.
Okay,
Just
well,
do it. Just do it.
get something. I'm gonna like. Is he wearing a belt? Is anybody wearing a belt?
You may have mine. It's
I
Italian
take the
leather.
belt. You ain't getting it back.
Herb provides you
It's
one.
quite alright. Keep it, please.
That's fine. Whatever it is, I tie his hands up. I bind his hands, and I'm like, come on, help me bring him to the door. And
Okay. What are we doing?
As you're doing that, you're also watching as Walter, the former traveling salesman, you watch as the light pulls him to the wall and then pulls him through it. Now, this is not as if it was physical. It's not as if he is breaking through the wall. It is as if the tendril of light is shredding him down to a molecular level, and the molecules that are of his body are passing through the wall, and out the other side as this reddish mist that spirals into whatever is out there.
okay, so great to know. Great to know. I'm keeping on. I'm keeping my eyes down. I'm going to Jacob, help me. I'm gonna
What? What? Huh?
I'm gonna unlock the front door.
Ethel is pounding on Jacob's back. Oh, you should go and help him, dear. You should go and help him.
Oh, this woman.
I don't know how
gonna-
it's done in the States, but
It's
Find
not
the
done
dog.
like this.
Hey, do you want
Shove
me to pull? You want me to pull the door open? Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, pull the door open. We're gonna shove him out there, and then
okay.
Read the words.
I
So you have to say the fucking
You
shit.
have to say
like
the
a
thing.
big
Good
idiot. I
Say
say,
the Latin.
Iya, Haj Makeshmani, Sak Mazef Kaisi, Winizen, Nakan, Watij, Ni Sej Nama.
All right.
Into the great tempest outside.
Everyone who hears these words gains a point of Cthulhu mythos.
Ooh, cool. And
Do
lose
I
a point of
lose?
sanity.
Do I lose my life?
Everybody,
saving?
you need to make another sanity check.
That's a fail.
All right.
It's another fail.
Roll a d10.
9.
Also 9.
It's a success.
Right, 9.
I lost 7.
And as you finish these words, the creature, whatever it is, the door is now open, and what you see is an orb of light. But it is, at the same time, kind of a lie. Because it's not just an orb. It's as if, that in that Euclidean math sort of way that they always talk about, it is both a circular sphere, but at the same time, it's like a hole in time and space. And while you're watching the Walter, what is left of him, spiraling into it, it at the same time is entering now into Bait. And if you've ever seen the movie, a couple years ago, it's a huge special effect that people seem to really like. But where the body is standing still, but all the joints are seeming to move rapidly. They did it in House on Haunted Hill. They've done it in a lot of different ghost movies.
Yeah.
The orb moves into him, and it's like you're watching that happen at every joint of his body. And over the course of seconds, you are hearing Bait scream. A scream that will stay with you for the rest of your days.
Box.
Piss.
Piss, indeed.
That's not good.
But wherever the box is, once it's finished with Bait, the orb, it's much dimmer than it was before when it leaves his body through his eyes, leaving them those, kind of cooked out carterized masses. And it goes to the box, and the lid, wherever it is seems to fly through the air, sealing itself.
Well, I think we need to drive back to that house and do the wax thing.
We need
right?
to seal it with the
Yeah,
wax.
get the car.
I said we should have
Jacob
brought
is
the
taking
box
charge.
with us.
I've had
Oh,
a
we
bit.
did.
I think I've lost enough sanity that I had a bit of a break, because I only had 50, so I lost over 10. I lost 15 total, so I'm a little bit temporarily insane. So you either leave me there or you throw me in the car, because I have the book like clenched in my hands.
I'm not leaving you. You're getting in the car.
Yeah,
Come on, let's
get
go.
in the car. Honestly, is it a fifth in a single loss or a fifth in a
I think it's a
scene?
fifth in like an hour.
Oh, okay, then I'm also
in-game
crazy.
time. Okay. Well, you still be like, get to the house.
Get the bloody,
Alright.
get in the bloody car. We're going to the bloody house.
Give me your keys. You're not in any condition to drive.
No, I'm fine.
No, you're not. Give me the
I am
keys.
not letting a young lady drive this vehicle. Get in the back.
If you
Give me the keys.
If you want to go to the car,
me the keys.
If you want to go to the house, give me the keys.
It's fine. I will. I know how to drive. I am. This is the one. Let me do this one thing.
Leo's gonna kick him in in the
Cleo
knee.
is on another continent.
God damn it! Rose. I can't.
It's okay.
It's
It's
alright.
okay.
My
It's
brain
only
is
a
so
one-shot.
dead. Rose is gonna like kick him in the knee. It's like fighting.
What the bloody hell was that for?
Give us the keys.
All right, fine. Take the keys.
Now get in the
There's a
back.
scratch
with
on this
Grace.
thing.
You
know
said
what?
it was a rental.
It is a rental.
Then you got the insurance, right?
Do they have insurance back?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They did.
They do now.
did. It just, yeah.
They
yeah,
do now.
It's fine.
If you got the insurance, don't worry about scratches.
Never coming
Okay,
back to the States
let's go.
again. Let's go.
There we go.
All right. Well, you go back to the house. You seal the box. I'm going to give you this opportunity. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the music. And we're going to leave this timeline for a moment. Who would like to have the final moment with this box? Whatever is to become of it for your team here. And I
Leo.
will
No, I'm
narrate
just kidding.
something out for it.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all want to give it to Cleo to tie the 2
I'm-
stories together.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, we totally could.
100%. Yeah, one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's the same
That's
time
dope.
period. Yeah. So
Or at least your
I
mentor.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah.
Or your
But
dad
no. Since I'm the one who read the book and kind of did the ritual and was the one who essentially fed this guy to the deadlight, I will take it to this occult bookshop that I have heard
Yeah,
about.
I mean, it's in
Arkham.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, in or nearby in Danvers or wherever it was, and I will take this box to them. I will enter the place and say, I had an appointment.
We'll say that what little research you could find wasn't nearly enough to figure out a way to rid yourself of this box, but you did find hope in the form of an individual that might be able to take care of it for you. And the name within this occult bookstore that you drop it off at. It takes quite a bit of research, but one day, your mentor goes to a mountain there in the, I guess that would be, if the mountains in West Virginia would be the Ozarks, I believe? Yes, no? Appalachian East side. Yes,
Appalachians.
Appalachians.
Yeah, Appalachian.
So takes it to a mountain peak there. Nothing else around. Forests. There's nothing. It's a wide open space at the tip of this peak. And it is in the middle of the afternoon. And cracks open the box. The creature inside is now the one screaming. And your teacher or your mentor stands there watching as it is slowly unmade. And after a few seconds of watching it writhe in the air, it even tries at one point to lash out at them with a tentacle, but to no avail. And slowly this becomes nothing. The mentor makes a note in a journal of sunlight is often such a simple thing to unmake the greatest of evils. And we'll leave that as the footnote for the end of this adventure. And thus ends the episode, The Deadlight. So,
Oh, wow.
I hope everybody had a good time. And
Nice.
sleeps well tonight. And,
Our
you
characters
know,
had a terrible time. Would not repeat.
Yeah.
that, nothing that an hour of puppy YouTube videos can't fix. But I really hope y'all enjoyed it, and I want to
It's
say
great.
that this was a dang good mission. I was impressed by this one when I read it. This is actually a two part in a book, so there is another mission that could take place. So I will set that aside and say that your characters could come back, and we can do something in the future with that if there's another time where people can't be here for a game. But other than
Awesome.
that,
Nice.
guys, it's 8 o'clock at night for us here. It's the end of the show. I'm turning it back over to the show's head with Rue.
I thank you all for joining us tonight for this little one shot. I had a good time. That was pretty gruesome and gnarly, but I'm glad we could tie it in. That wasn't planned. I don't, just that'll be a little thing. Cleo can remember that her mentor said, sunshine is the simplest way to undo all sorts of evil and whatever. But
See, that's what we do to the Fez. We expose it to sunlight.
I hope that we don't. I hope that we don't interact with that Fez. But I have not read that far in the adventure, so we'll find out. Um, as for what's going on this week, tomorrow night we do have The Voyage is Up. We're returning to our Star Trek Adventures campaign, the second half of our first season. John Kennedy will be in the GM seat tomorrow night, I think. There's a lot of guest GMs this time, but I think it's going to be John. And then
Yeah.
I don't know who else is on that episode tomorrow night, but that'll be good. Tuesday night we're
John,
back.
Danny, Chevron.
Rob,
Yeah,
yeah,
Rob.
Rob, I think is going to be in it. I'll look. It's going to be a good time. It's
It'll
going to
be
be a good
great.
time. And then Tuesday night we're going to be back with By Leaps and Bounties, our pirate show that Alla and I are on with Danny and John
John.
is also on.
Yeah.
I forgot. And Michael from our Discord server. Y'all, if you like the Discord thing, check out our community. We have a really fun community. We talk about a lot of crap, but we try to be positive and uplifting and keep make it a safe and inclusive space for everybody. So please, if you're looking for a place to hang out online, you might give us a shot. I think here I can do a quick little exclam Discord.
It's a great place where you
Maybe.
can be guilty without worrying about toxic fandom.
Amen.
Yeah, that's our goal. And then Saturday we have Mech Warrior Destiny, some more of that Solaris 7 setting that John started a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna have the Husband with us GM in that. It's gonna be good times. And then right back here on Sunday with Illuminated Page, and we'll return to the Horror on the Orient Express. I really thank you all for sticking with us tonight. Had a great time. Hope you did too. Stay safe out there. Good night and good games.
Bye, friends.